Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot, with your girl coming at you with another pick, a card reading. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and I want to thank anyone and everyone for coming on today. We do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the messages do resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And keeping in mind that triggering statements might arise on the reading, and there's no obligation to force it to fit. But also that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move into today's reading. We'll get our prayer underway, and that is, what trauma are you being asked to face? And I just want to set up expectations because we're asking about trauma that we're facing. It goes without showing that this will probably be a really deep reading. So if you're ready and willing, hang tight with me and we'll see what comes out for you today, okay? My beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading today. I ask that you help us to open our hearts to receive the messages that are meant for us. We're diving deep into a topic that is scary, that can bring with it a lot of memories and a lot of emotions that we'd rather not feel or we'd rather not see, but that every one of these emotions that we'd buried, or every one of these memories that we tried to shove away, may actually, in fact, hold a key to our awakening, to our evolution, to our letting go, so that we can move on. And as we do that today, I ask that you hold each of our hands and gently lead us down this road with love, with light, with honesty. And if we're not ready to receive the message fully, may it be a seed that's planted into our hearts that will blossom and grow when it is ready for us to receive that. I ask that you surround everyone in your healing white violet light of love today. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. And it felt fitting to use the Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild today. You know, we are doing a very deep topic, and this is such a good deck to dig in and also get that nurturance from Kuan Yin. So we're going to be tapping into her energy today. All right, let's get into this. What trauma are you being asked to face right now? What trauma are you being asked to face right now? Source, what messages do you have for my fellow humans today? What trauma are you being asked to face right now? Thank you. What trauma are you being asked to face right now? All right. Pile number 1. What trauma are you being asked to face right now? What Kuan Yin card is going to help us better understand this message today, source, for pile number 1? What trauma are you being asked to face, pile number 1? Okay, thank you. Pile number 2. What trauma are you being asked to face right now? Source, what Kuan Yin Oracle card is going to help us tap into this message that you have for pile number 2 today? Pile number 2, what trauma are you being asked to face right now? Thank you. All right, pile number 3, what trauma are you being asked to face right now? Wow, very quickly, pile number 3. I feel like you're ready, ready and willing, like just bring it. All right. On the bottom of the deck, collective energy. This is the very first card that I got from this deck. Call of the Dancing Crane. So we're going to read this from the book because these cards are really in depth, and while I know what they mean a little bit, it's just better to deepen the understanding from the book directly. So the dancing crane moves through waters and muddy marsh with elegance and grace. The mating call and the dance of the crane is full of beautiful movement and flow. There are times when the astral waters of our emotional life become stagnant and will benefit from the healing movement, grace, and beauty of the dancing crane. The call of the dancing crane is a reminder that sound can be healing too. This is particularly so when your thoughts and beliefs and emotional patterns do not support you living in the spiritual destiny you were born to live. Have you ever felt like you were a different person on holidays or when you were traveling? This is because you were free of the astral gravity that you usually live within on a day-to-day basis. The astral plane is like glue. When we put enough energy of habit into thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and stories from our past that condition how we interpret current life experiences, we can get stuck in the astral gravity, unable to let go of ways of thinking and reacting, even if we really wish to do so. We can create sticky astral thoughts and beliefs that attach to houses, places, and people. When we are in different environment, we often have a chance to create fresh habits and beliefs, which is why a holiday or travel can be so refreshing and inspiring. Sometimes, however, that is not practical, and we need healing to break through the muddy stagnation of old thoughts and beliefs right now. As we grow spiritually, we can outgrow our astral conditioning just like sifting mud out of water, so we can move more freely and gracefully like the dancing crane. If we accept healing energy to help us filter through our psychological programs so that our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions can create new habits and patterns more aligned with what we would like to experience in our lives, these filtered energies can become more powerful than old stories about life that no longer support us in living according to our spiritual light. Healing the astral waters can require great patience, persistence, and application to be achieved. The dancing crane uses dance and sound to thrive, and you are encouraged to use movements such as dance or yoga or sacred sounds such as chanting mantras or healing names of the divine such as Kuan Yin, dancing crane goddess, to support your healing. You may intuitively feel that movement in a physical sense to a different location, such as going for a walk or a drive to a different park or beach, might help you. If you've been feeling that you need to move to a different location, change situations in your current life, or connect with new groups of people with whom you feel more inspired, then this oracle is confirming this intuition and encouraging you to embrace those changes in your life. You're being guided by the grace of Kuan Yin through the healing vibration of the call of the dancing crane to stop believing in your old stories, your old habits and patterns, and to realize that they are simply astral conditioning. There is no higher truth to them than this. You are allowed to change them. You can choose to cultivate any thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations of experiences that you like. Sometimes we are graced with divine assistance, which helps our astral healing happen more quickly and easily. We still need our affirmations to change our thoughts and let go of old stories about our self-worth, abundance, health, relationship, judgments of ourselves or others. Yet with divine blessings, it is like we get a hand lifting us up out of our old ways until we learn to stand in the new vibration on our own. You're being asked to allow her to assist you now. She might come to you in meditation, through a healing session, or in a dream. You may see her as a crane goddess and hear her music and sounds that uplift you into a new vibration. You may feel her guidance and urge to create a vision board or say affirmations or a mantra and a desire to dance or do yoga. Allow her to guide you to the perfect way for you to receive her divine blessing and help you so that your affirmations, vision board, and inspiring images that you love and your choices to interpret incoming data as evidence that the universe loves and helps you become more powerful than the pull of your past. So letting go of our past it's interesting that this would come out on the what traumas are you currently being asked to face, because it's showing us that we don't have to be identified with those past stories, that we can choose to relinquish them. We can choose to see them as it's something that we experienced, but it's not who we are. And sometimes that takes that persistence, that effort, that time to really relinquish the hold on that. But in doing so, it frees us up to bring in new energy. And that's what the collective energy is right now, is to really let go of those past stories that maybe you've been holding on to for some time. All right, so let's get this set up here. All right, so for pile number 1, we do have this dice with the 3rd house on it for you to choose from. Or we have this piece of red jasper. Pile number 2, we have this dice with the 8th house on it. Or we have this piece of howlite for you to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this dice of the 9th house on it. Or we have this piece of carnelian for you to choose from. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 3rd house on it, or perhaps you were called to this piece of red jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what trauma are you being asked to face right now. First, I would like to say that we're all here having this human experience, and I'm truly honored for those of you that have chosen to show up today. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so if the messages do resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. There's a chance that triggering information will come through on the reading, and remember, there's no obligation to force it to fit, but also keeping in mind that triggers are an additional blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So keep an open heart and mind as we get into this reading today, because it is designed to go deep, and we will see what goes through or comes through for you today, pile 1. So what trauma are you being asked to face, pile number 1? What trauma are you currently being asked to face? Source, what would you like to share with pile number 1 today? Okay, so we have the 5th house, we have Aries energy, and we have Jupiter. It's interesting because you guys had the 3rd house, and so I am getting that this could be in regards to love, especially with the 5th house coming through. Wasn't expecting the dice that you actually chose from to come up on the reading, but it does happen throughout some of the readings, so I'm not surprised, but I am surprised at the same time. So always just keeping an open mind as we go through. But for the 5th house and Jupiter to come through, there's it's like an undying hope for a certain individual to come into or to come back into your life, just depending on your circumstances. And there's also this stubbornness and almost an arrogant, like it has to be them, otherwise it's gonna be no one. And this is really bogging down your energy. It's creating a lot of attachment to a situation that doesn't need your attachment. It will happen as it happens, the way that it's meant to happen, whether that's them coming in or them not coming in. And sometimes that's really hard for us to embrace because we're afraid that we picked the wrong person, or we're afraid that we're going to get our heart broken, or we're afraid that things are going to fall apart. There's an affirmation right now: I'm not scared of heartbreak. I acknowledge that heartbreak has been tough for me, but I have learned that I am tougher. So that's the thing. It's like you are tougher than your heartbreak. You are much bigger than the connection itself, right? The connection does not define you. It is a part of the journey, but that's all it is it's just another part of the journey. It's not who you are, it's not who you will become, it's not any of that. Because right now there's this feeling of putting an attachment on there, and with Jupiter coming in, it's this asking of rising above that and learning the true power of what having a relationship like this means in your life. Not to have the relationship itself, not to be in a 3D connection with the person themselves, but what does it truly mean to have this type of a connection? If it's a labeled connection, soulmate, twin flame connection, what does it truly mean to be that? Is it because you're supposed to have the greatest love story of all time? Or is it because you were given a mission to rise above the 3D paradigm? And oftentimes people get so attached to the relationship itself that it's difficult to rise above. And this is trauma that's being triggered by abandonment. This is trauma that's being triggered by aggressive relationships in your life. This is trauma that is being triggered by people who have potentially been narcissistic in your life. And the hope that there's one person out there who will treat you the way that you treat them is the hope that you're holding on to. And where you've placed that hope at is on a specific person. And it's putting an expectation on them that continues to disappoint you because that person never shows up the way that you would show up, or the way that you have imagined that they would show up. And so what the hope turns into is identifying with the imagined reality that we have, the fantasy that we've created in our head, not the reality of the situation that sits before us. So Jupiter in this essence isn't necessarily about abundance, even though abundance is promised here. Jupiter is coming in as a reminder that learning and gaining wisdom and knowledge based on a situation that you're in is the most powerful thing that you can do if you choose to apply it. Not just to absorb it, but to apply it as well. And where is that going to take you? It's going to bring you into a state of leadership, because right now that's what it feels like you're being asked to do, is to step into a state of leadership, to share that knowledge with others, to share that experience with others, which can be hard because it's like, well, what if I don't get the relationship? What if I don't get the connection? Then what? Then what? How do I share that with others? Because everyone's looking for the answer to manifest their person into their life. But what if we've been looking at it from rose-colored glasses? What if we've been looking at it from only one side of this multi-sided object, right? We're only seeing one portion of it. We're not seeing the others because we're too afraid to let go of the one that we've attached onto, the one that gave us the most hope. But the one that gave us the most hope might, in fact, actually be the most superficial one there is. All right, so what trauma are you being asked to face, pile one? Yeah, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Like having to look at this a different way, having to see it from a different point of view, having to see it from a different perspective. It leaves a sour taste because the relationship itself is what maybe has been the fuel for you to heal. It's been the fuel for you to learn about yourself. It's been the fuel to deepen your connection with the divine. And maybe you needed that at first, but you don't need that anymore. What trauma are you being asked to face? Yeah, you're being given assistance here. Interesting. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This could in fact be the father wound that's coming through with the King of Coins coming in here. Doesn't have to be, but interesting that the King of Coins would come out in the reverse, and we're talking about the physical manifestation of a relationship of some sorts. This is the skewed vision that we have here. It's the manipulation. Like he's looking at the Three of Wands in the reverse. It's showing that there's a deep manipulation based on this idea. Okay? And the King of Coins is only focused on what's going on in this card. And it's the untruth that we've led ourselves to believe as the only truth, rather than recognizing that there could be, in fact, multiple truths and that we need to observe it from multiple different angles. And that can be challenging when we've said it has to be either or. We're giving it a black and white finish while we're not actually looking at the whole, which is a prism of colors. We're saying it can only be yes or no instead of the possibility of what can potentially come to us. And I feel like Source has given you many, many, many signs here, especially with the Three of Swords coming in on the end of this reading. It's showing that Source has given you so much assistance here, and that's not something that they're mad about. That's not something that they're frustrated about at all. It's just something that Source will continue to give you nudges to remind you that this is not a have-all, end-all, be-all situation, quite the way that the emotional ego has painted it to be for you, Pile 1. But the fear of starting over, the fear of letting go of the idea of this person who you've invested so much time, so much energy, so much love and light into, the idea of letting them go, it just rubs you wrong. And that's understandable. That's understandable because you have fallen in love with the fantasy of the idea. And you've lived in that fantasy for years, for months, for weeks, for days, whatever it is. You've lived in that fantasy, but at what point are you going to put your feet back on the ground and come to reality and see the situation for what it truly is? And we want there to be so much magic in our own actions that is going to basically force another person into seeing that we're their person. We don't see it that way because we're saying, oh, it's just all going to happen on a spiritual level. And while that can potentially be the case, if that's the only thing that we're betting on, are we truly doing the spiritual journey for ourselves? And that's what Source is bringing up here. This is the trauma. To do something for oneself feels inadequate. To do something for yourself and not have an end result doesn't feel balanced for some reason. It's as though your whole life has been, I do this because of insert person, insert idea, insert goal, insert situation, not because I want to or because I can. And thus, the emotional ego has gotten very good at holding on to those little strands that it's being fed by the mind, that this is just enough for me to blow it out of proportion and convince my person, convince you, Pile 1, that this is the only thing that we can hold on to. And there's a lot of hardships here, and there's a lot of difficulties, and there's a lot of fears that are arising, but the actions we see are being taken based on a fear with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Wands. They're being taken based on fear, and yet at the same time, when anything comes in that goes against the belief that you have, it's an immediate rejection rather than approaching it through a state of curiosity. This is where the abundance comes through, is keeping that open mind and that open heart and approaching it through curiosity, because within this curiosity, we can then see that we need not to hold on to the physical manifestation of something, but rather the true, is this in alignment with me? If we were to put down everything right now and just observe the situation for what it is. Maybe the person that you want to manifest in your life is involved in another third-party relationship, or they're married to someone, they have a family, they have all these things in their life. Maybe they are a workaholic, or they have ghosted you. Like, let's just stop and look at all these things. Why is it okay for us to walk away when these people are toxic for us, but when they're not toxic for us, we don't walk away? Even though these are all situations that still come back saying that you're not a priority in their life. It's holding on to an old, outdated belief of saying I'm not enough to be made a priority. And in truth, if we were to really dig deep into that, pile one, what you're saying is that because I have to hold on to this external person who doesn't make me a priority, it's yet another layer keeping you from honoring and owning the fact that you yourself don't feel like you can make yourself a priority. Why? Why are you not able to make yourself a priority? So we're seeing the trauma is coming up through the idea of this connection in and of itself. It's spawned from an inner child wound of always having to chase someone's love, of always having to do something to yourself in order to be deemed fitting to receive love. But that's not the case any longer. You are deserving and worthy of love right now, pile one, if you choose to give that love to yourself. If I were to ask you today, what would happen if this person never came into your life ever again? If that was it, the last time you met them was indeed the last time that you met them, and you were never going to meet this person again in your life, what does that make you feel? Number one, right? Would you be okay with that? And if the answer is no, why? Why are you not okay with that? It means that there is something you're holding on to in regards to this situation that's still a trauma bonding situation. We're saying, I cannot exist without this person, but the reality is that you've existed thus long without this person. Well, because I have to have the ultimate love experience in my life, which you are the ultimate love experience in your life. Well, I'm destined to be with this person, when reality is that you are and have only ever always been destined to be with yourself. We are the only person that will be there with ourselves the first breath we take. We are the only person that will be there with ourselves upon the last breath that we take. That is not a gift that is given to anybody but ourselves, pile one. And that's the energy that's coming up. So the trauma here that you're being asked to face is this fear of truly seeing yourself as worthy and deserving of love, and in turn becoming that very love that you seek. You need not another person, you need but yourself. And that's the energy that's coming in here. And I know that can be so frightening, but Source is also helping to support you through this journey. Aries again. So you could be an Aries, a Leo, a Sag. We have Leo, Aries, Sag energy here. A lot of fire this week. There's been, I think, a lot of fire signs, and especially Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius season as I'm recording this right now. You know, there's a lot of fire signs that are going through it right now. There's just a lot of heavy fire energy here, and I feel like it's because we're burning into the end of the year and a necessity to burn away all that's no longer serving us. But I feel like the fire signs have just really kind of taken a beating, and especially right now. And even if you're catching this, whenever you're catching this, there might be, I'm not sure what the astrological placements are today. I haven't actually looked, and so there could be a lot of heavy astrological placements for fire signs at this time. But we have independence, bravery, and passion coming in here with Aries. This is about reigniting your own inner flame and finding that independence again, instead of relying on codependency. Believing that this person has to be a part of your life, otherwise there will never be someone else, is actually a definition of codependency. I cannot survive without this person. That's the illusion. That's not true. Venus, exactly. Give and receive love, find value and see beauty. Can you come back to this place of giving yourself love, receiving your own love, and finding value and seeing the beauty and being that partner to yourself? I know it's easier said than done. I can appreciate that. You are capable of it, though. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have Swift. Stay true to your heart's desire and keep nature in your heart and home. So coming back to, what was the purpose of using this person to fuel your journey? And honestly, I keep feeling this energy coming through, the ultimate love. That's what your heart desires, is this ultimate love experience. But what if you are what you've been seeking all along? That's something that can be hard to look at, because we're taught in this realm that everyone outside of us is what fulfills us. But the spiritual journey says that's the illusion that we need to let go of. And when we let go of it, we see the reality of the situation is that we're the only ones that can fulfill ourselves. Are you deserving of a love that is once in a lifetime? Absolutely. You are absolutely deserving of that. However, waiting around for someone to figure it out and to never put you first, that's what you don't deserve. You deserve to be put first the first time around. Not as someone's choice just because they got so excited that you stuck around and they tested the boundaries. How long is pile one going to stick around for? Or because they're so tied up in the physical world. Trusting tricksters. Wow. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. What if the labeled journey is a trap that keeps us coming back to the illusion because we're too stubborn to let go and step into a path of light? And again, I'm not saying you have to believe what I'm sharing here. I'm just saying this is the message that's coming through. It's a question you can ask yourself, and by answering that question for yourself, you can learn more about yourself and the journey that you're on. Because it's not for me to say that, yes, you're absolutely going to end up with this person in the end. It's not for anybody on this earth to say, yes, you're absolutely going to end up with this person, this twin flame, this soulmate. Because from my own experience and from experience of clients, I've realized that Source has a funny way of humbling us along the journey. So then rather than us attaching ourselves to one person, we can still hold on to the idea, but it's not being attached to the idea. Saying, I want love in my life. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing to want love in your life, pile one. But you're not identified by the love that's in your life. You are already a being of unconditional love. Indecision. Yeah. Going back and forth, this hot and cold energy. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So there's moments when you're mad at this person. There's moments when you're mad at the journey. There's moments when you're mad about the situation. There's moments when you're like, I wish I had never met them, but then, oh my gosh, I can't live without them. Your intuition is trying to help you, and all of those emotions will help you through understanding yourself better. We have Pluto coming in, so the planet of transformation and reclaiming your personal power. Also, digging up those subconscious beliefs and patterns that might be holding us back, facing our fears. Go all in. Don't be afraid by what potential answers this journey could bring to you. Don't be afraid if the answer you want and the answer you get are two different things. But rather open up and be curious about what arises. Sextile, keep it easy breezy. Right? Be unaffected by what comes. Just let it come as it will. And I know that's easier said than done, but again, you are capable of opening up your heart to see that. Rest. There's a need for you to take time to rest. You've been working so hard on the journey, and I feel like you haven't given yourself just space to be. You know, when are you going to stop giving so much to this person? And that can include your spiritual journey. Well, I'm healing just so that I can get this person. I'm doing this just so that I can get this person. Everything that you're doing is for someone else, but not for yourself. When are you going to do this for yourself? And when are you going to do something that matters for yourself? That's the question here. It's time to find balance. What the heart wants matters. What your heart wants matters. But it doesn't have to be this person. You could want to be a creative. You could want to be a healer, an inspiration. Whatever that is, go towards your dreams and focus on yourself right now, not on the connection. Let's get an angel number for pile number 1 source. What trauma are they being asked to face? I feel like it's weird. It's weird to do something for yourself because you've always done things for everyone else. It's almost like at times, pile 1, you don't know what you even want because it's so easy to pour into what everyone else wants. And you can see the clear road ahead. You can see how it will affect or play out like this. And so it's like, this is what I want for myself, but if I have to do it so this other person starts to align with me, isn't that so funny? Like, let's just stop for a second and think about that. We're putting it on our shoulders that our healing journey is going to make someone else heal. When in truth, our healing journey is a drop in the ocean that causes ripples that allows people who are ready and willing to heal to heal. But if we're dealing with someone who's so stuck in the 3D matrix and who doesn't want to let go, we're putting so much faith in our one drop to affect them on their journey, and then we also blame ourselves when it doesn't. What a burden to hold. That was never the burden that Source wanted us to hold, because it's not for us to hold. We have 1221, taking action. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action. Time to implement long-cherished ideas. What was I just telling you? What do you want to do? Okay, you're on the right track towards making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Happiness and new opportunities are at hand. Trust in the process. So you might see 1221 a lot. When you do, if it comes up in your day-to-day life, observe what it is that you're thinking. How are you seeing yourself in that moment? We have 1001 with manifestation, abundance, money, dreams, vision, and prosperity. So you are promised prosperity. You are promised abundance. It says focus on the good and maintain your concentration on the outcomes you desire. It's time to put your faith and time into the ideas, your ideas, and pursue your goals with all your might. Your goals. Not the goals of this person, not the goals of being with this person, your goals in life. What do you want, pile 1? You have such a beautiful, courageous, and brave spirit, and yet you spend so much time giving that to everyone else. You deserve a little bit of that energy. In fact, you deserve a lot of that energy as well. No one will love you the way you love yourself. That's just the way it is. Not even a labeled partnership. They will never love you the way that you have the potential to love yourself. And remember that falling in love is a journey. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not an instantaneous recognition either. It's something that we do throughout a period of time as we get to know ourselves. And that's what makes it so deep and profound and beautiful. Vanessa, to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? Right? So if focusing on outwardly things is your goal, that's taking you away from your divine purpose, because our divine purpose is to come within, to connect within, which is vastly different for everyone, but that's the purpose, is to come back to that inner power that we have. We have Ancient Wing, dare to be the first and dare to be different. What a powerful message to come out here. Dare to be different than the masses. So many people are falling victim to this idea that this is their one person, they're supposed to come, but if they're not coming into your life, it's somehow your fault. Why do we have to fall into that belief? Can't we just say, I have this unexplainable feeling for this person, but it's clear that they're not a part of my life right now, so I have to live my life for me. Melting Mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. Yeah, you've been doing a lot for others. It's time for you to show yourself your truth. Balance. Again, we got balance twice. It says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Balancing out your path, your journey. So your angel message here is Ray. With yoga and exercise are essential to your well-being, peace of mind, and spiritual growth right now. Now, pile one, if you haven't, you might benefit from checking out the collective message. It's time-stamped below in the description box, because this message does go hand in hand with that collective energy as well. Only if you feel called to. So we're going to take a look at your Kuan Yin card. I'm going to read this from the book, if I can get my cards right here. And we're going to see what she has to say to you today. We have Tai Chi rising. Moving of stagnant energy. So there's the stagnancy that's in your life. Yeah, you might really benefit from checking out the collective energy at the beginning of the reading. All right, so we have 32. What she says. Hold it up so you can see. Your energy field is growing stronger with more spiritual electricity pulsing through your being. It's time to take time to nourish your nervous system as it adjusts, and be gentle with yourself as you adjust to increase levels of spiritual potency, which gives you more impact to your words, actions, and thoughts. Having a big energy field does not necessarily mean that you have a high level of consciousness, but when you do have an exquisite awareness and a beautiful light, it is able to shine more brightly than through a larger energy field. Whatever you have within you, a larger energy field will reveal with greater gusto. You have a special light within you, and the elegance and beauty and refinement of that light wishes to express itself more potently in the world of forms, so that others may receive healing and refine their light too. And we talked about that being the drop in the ocean that causes the ripple, the healing. Okay, you can help teach others about the power of gentleness. The force is not required, and the kindness that can be most healing and powerful balm of all. For this to happen more so now, your energy field is growing. It is like having a bigger light globe through which to shine your light so that it is more visible. As your energy field grows, your words and thoughts have more potency, like getting used to driving a car with more power, a more powerful engine. Take your time and be careful as you realize the impact of your actions and thoughts will have in the world of forms now. You do not need to worry about this. You can go into your heart and trust that you will exercise your will and potency in the world through surrendering into your heart, where your own Kuan Yin nature will guide you into compassion and right action. Let your energy field continue to grow through chanting, meditation, energy work, and healing, and whatever else intuitively feels right for you. This oracle's confirmation that your growth is happening and needs to happen for you now so that you are able to do your life's work most effectively. So growth is assured, like it's something that's going to happen for you. And it's just asking you to see things from a different perspective, because there's this box that you placed yourself in, and it's almost like you're pressing up against the edges right now. And as you press up against the edges, they're going to press back. So it's up to you to choose, am I going to stay in this box, or am I going to look at this from a much wider perspective so that I can gain a clearer understanding of myself? Because as you grow, your love and your light reaches more people. But what a burden to take on your shoulders for your love and light to be the only reason that one person heals in the world, when that's just not fair. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to them, because it's placing unrealistic expectations upon them. And then it's also placing completely unrealistic expectations on yourself, as though there must be something wrong with you if this person does indeed choose not to heal, when they're a person with free will, right? You've done so much, and you deserve to celebrate how incredible you truly are. And the best way to do that is going back within and tapping into that heart light that you have, and giving that love to yourself, and continue that healing for yourself, because that is when you begin to affect the people around you in such a profound way. It's not because of doing it for this relationship, for this connection. It's because you're doing it for yourself. And you deserve that, pile one. Oh, here's a big energetic hug. I know it's been hard for you. You're doing an amazing job. Okay, and I just want you to know that you were so loved and supported along this journey. But this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little star emoji down below and say, by tuning in and tapping into my own incredible light, I recognize and realize the power of my unconditional love, and I give that back to myself. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. With that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly deep and profound message today, pile one. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 8th house on it, or perhaps you were called to this piece of howlite, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what trauma are you being asked to face right now. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and I'm truly thankful for each one of you that's chosen to show up today. With that, we do things completely differently on this channel, so if the message does happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Because of the nature of this reading, there is a potential for triggering energy to come through. There's no obligation to force it to fit, but also keeping in mind that triggers are a blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, what trauma are you being asked to face, pile number 2? What trauma are you being asked to face? Source, what messages do you have today for pile number 2? What trauma are you being asked to face, pile number 2? Okay, so we've got the 10th house, we have Aquarius energy, and we have Neptune coming in. I need to move the camera over a tad bit here. So there's this energy that's coming in where you're working incredibly hard. You have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. In fact, I don't think you ever take a break. You could be a workaholic. Okay, no beef. Again, that's just something that's coming in. But with Aquarius energy here and Neptune, it's showing that there's an attachment, and I feel like that's something that's going to be common in the readings today, is these attachments. But also there's this fear of, if I don't work, if I don't show up, there's guilt that's involved with that, or shame, or a feeling of blame. I feel like my throat is like all of a sudden, one second. I feel like I have a knot in my throat, and I need to drink of water, but it's not really helping. And so I feel like that must be in regards to your reading. It's like, I feel like I can't express myself. Like if you get sick, or if you get run down, or if you get exhausted or something like that, there's no option for you to miss work. Right? Not because it's not there. I feel like maybe you do get sick time, but because there's some sort of terror that's attached with that, like danger. If I miss work, I'm gonna get yelled at. If I miss work, someone's gonna, create problems for me, or I'm gonna miss out on something, or I'm not, gonna get that promotion that I want, or I'm gonna be seen as lazy. I'm gonna be seen as somebody who's not really sick. And I feel like it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people who like you. They're very, you're very approachable. You're very friendly with everyone. And there's a lot of people who connect with you, but it's almost as if you're taking on this huge responsibility of like, I have to be there for everyone else, because that's just like, you may have never missed a day of school. You may have never missed a day of work. The idea of missing a day of work is just outside of your scope. Like, I can't absolutely do that. Like, I just can't. It doesn't even necessarily have to be work. It could be like your spiritual journey, your healing journey with the 10th house and Neptune here. It could be just what rituals you have as well. It's feeling like, if I miss, there's something inherently wrong with me. And there's a lot of blame that's coming from that. And it's almost as if you feel like everybody around you is going to feel that exact same way towards you. Pile number 2, you're in this place of like, if I miss, everybody's going to see me for a failure. They're going to see me for the fraud that I am. They're going to see me for somebody that shouldn't have even been given this opportunity in the first place. And it's unfortunate because you're actually the one that moves things forward. This could be social media. Maybe you work on social media, or you're some sort of tech support, or you're some sort of, maybe you do editing, guru. There's video editing here. It's something like that. It has to do with technology. Maybe you're in the innovative AI group where you're working with AI now, or you're helping to develop AI, some sort of programmer, a game programmer, something along those lines. But it's like, there's just this, it's a lot of work. What you do is a lot of work. It could be inventive, scientific. There could be, you are creating new ways for people to have easier lives, something along those lines. There's something very inventive about this. It's very unorthodox, right? There's something here that's all about the future. It's all about helping the future. You might kind of be this very quirky, wild person, which is great. But I feel like the thing is that it's almost as if you've taken on responsibility, feeling like the whole world is relying on me, and I can't miss a day because then the whole world will fall apart. Like, you're carrying so much on you, and that comes from an old wound. And we're going to dig deeper into that, but the dice are being very clear here. There's something that you do that's very future oriented for the world. It could be healing, it could be giving them something that helps their journey, helps their day-to-day lives, whatever the situation is. But there's also this fear that's coming where it's like, if I don't show up, then I'm doing everybody a disservice here. And emotionally, I feel like you're incredibly exhausted. Like, just like, don't have anything left to give. You're really running on empty here. Like you might drink an exorbitant amount of coffee as well, or really like I keep seeing like those little 5-hour energies or whatever they are. It might not be 5-hour energy. It might just be like an energy drink. You could do like an all natural energy drink or something like that. I'm seeing espresso shots. Like there's a lot of additional caffeine, and it's almost like recently you've had to up the caffeine usage in your life from your normal intake of caffeine because you're feeling so drained. But if I miss, then I'm doing something awful. Wow, this is a really heavy energy. Okay, so what trauma are you being asked to face? What trauma are you being asked to face? Okay, thank you. What trauma are you being asked to face? Yeah, I feel it in my third eye energy too. It's like I get like a headache across my forehead, straight across the forehead, right above my eyebrows in the third eye. What trauma are you being asked to face, pile 2? What trauma are you being asked to face? Like you feel like you can't even tell people how you truly feel. Yeah, workaholic. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You can't even tell people how you truly feel because you're so afraid of being seen as like something that you're not. Yeah. Whew. Okay, the 5 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. There's an obstinate refusal to change here. Self-sabotage. Okay. Wow. So your 3-card spread is all 3 mystery cards. That's pretty big energy here. The sun showing like I'm not clearly seeing things, right? Like it's this energy of I'm not clearly seeing the life that I have. I'm not clearly seeing myself. There's this block in my life and not realizing that it's not that big of a deal or it's not that big of a block, but we have turned it into this gigantic mountain that we cannot overcome. It's like turning mountains out of molehills, right? Or molehills into mountains. Depends on how you look at it. But with the sun in reverse, it's showing confinement. I'm confined to this idea. I'm confined to this pattern. The devil in reverse, talking about workaholism. Like we're confined to having to show up at 1,000% every day. I can't just be relaxed, and that's what creates a lot of impulsive energy in your life. This comes from a lack of nurturing that you received in childhood. There was someone here who had high expectations of you. They expected you to maybe get all A's, and if you got less than an A, there was punishment that was involved. They expected you to have a pristine, organized room, and if there was something that was just even slightly organized or even looked lived in, there was punishment involved. This is an energy of where there was always an expectation placed on you, and if that expectation, which was absolutely absurd, was not met, you got in trouble. That was the danger that's arising here. The hurt, right? That impulsive behavior that you have now, where I impulsively work so much because I'm afraid of someone coming in and punishing me. Right? I feel like you might be the mother of the office, or like you could be the father of the office too, but I do feel like people might refer to you as like, oh, pile 2, you're the mother of the office. You take care of everybody. You always know what's going on in everybody's lives. Like you might ask questions when everybody's around as well. And it's like you're not only involved in everybody else's lives, but you're also just trying to be the mother to everybody that you didn't have. And that's creating a lot of problematic situations for you, because it's like everybody comes to you for help, for assistance, and you're there for them, but then when you need help, you don't feel like you can ask for help first and foremost, or there's been situations where you have asked for help and no one has come. but they all expect the world of you. And that could be even in the workplace. Maybe you were always the go-to person, where if someone called in, oh, don't worry, pile number 2 will take it. And so people got into the habit of thinking that you were the person that was always there, that no matter what they could rely on. And thus that exacerbated this need to constantly work, constantly show up. Problems with a strong mother figure. So it's like you didn't receive the nurturing that you needed, and thus you became that to everyone else except for yourself. Yeah, it's like difficulty in detaching yourself from an unhealthy bond here. Overworking yourself. There is temptation and attraction to the dark and forbidden with the devil as well, but I feel like more than anything, it's like it's not about the temptation, or it's the temptation of money. It's the temptation of money. It's almost like if I have more money than I need, then I don't have to worry, and then I can take care of myself. But that goal is ever changing. That goal is ever growing. And so this behavior has its price, and its price is your health. So you're having difficulty facing your reality in the open. Becoming like so intense. It's very intense energy. You could have had an absent father in your life as well. Because we have the sun, which is the father of the astrological, all of astrology. You have the father of all astrology. Then you have the mother of the tarot here. So you could have had a very overprotective mother and an absent father, or you could have had a very overprotective father and an absent mother. And absent could just mean that they were emotionally absent, right? And so you were chasing for love, even though there wasn't anybody that was there to give you love, because you were either having to care for your parents emotionally, or there was just too high of expectations put on you. And so you were walking into complex situations all the time. Everything was too complex for you to handle because there was no simplistic answer. It was basically I take on the work myself. I do it all myself so that I can ensure it gets done correctly the first time, so that way then there's no repercussions. But that has turned into something much bigger than you're capable of carrying, and that it's not that you're not amazing, Kyle, you absolutely are, but this is creating a lot of unbalanced energy in your life, and it's creating a massive amount of exhaustion. In fact, I feel like if you were to stop today, like if you decided to take the day off and go home, and you're like, I'm just going to go rest. You would go home. Your intention would be to rest, but your actions would speak otherwise. All of a sudden, you'd find projects at home that haven't been attended to in a while. You might call some friends that you haven't talked to in a while. Like the list of to-dos would overwhelm your need for rest, and thus it was all for naught. So even if you take a day off, it's like you're not resting. It's like on the weekends you're still constantly on the go. And it could just be that your mind doesn't rest. So you could be fighting insomnia. You could be fighting just like, I need to take caffeine in the morning to wake up because I take sleeping pills at night because it's the only way I feel like I can function. And so there's a lot of reliance on substances here to get you going for your day and to help you go to sleep at night, rather than relying on the natural process of our body throughout the day, like recognizing that we have a lot of energy at this part of the day and we're kind of tired around this part of the day, and we get another energy boost at this part of the day, and then we wind down at the end of the day, right? And it's, instead of going with the natural flow of your body, it's forcing your body to do things that you feel like you're obligated to do. It's like, I don't want to get in trouble. And so there's this abyss that's hanging on your shoulders, in your head, and on your mind and your heart. It's like the darkness has overtaken you, and it has become the you that is now in existence. And when I say the darkness, that's not to scare you or anything. It's just that there's an emptiness, a big void here that you're trying to fill, because of the lack of support that you received as a child. So the expectation was work. This could have been a high expectation of performance. This could have been a high expectation of adherence to a certain set of rules. Okay, it's just there was expectations that were placed on you, and everybody around you acted in accordance to how you showed up to those expectations, which is, it's not fair. Point blank simple, it's not fair, pile 2. Because lo and behold, if any of those expectations were placed on the people who had them, they themselves would not be able to fulfill them. And yet, as a child, you were holding these expectations that were never yours to hold to begin with. And so it's about coming into a space of stillness and coming into a space of silence. And I feel like that seems very scary for you, because when you're in silence, all of a sudden, all the things that need to be done, all the things that you messed up on, or all the things that are going on suddenly start swirling around in your mind. And it's truly about sitting through that to get to the stillness. That's the only way to get to the other side. What else would you like to tell pile 1? Yeah, Saturn. I'm not surprised Saturn comes flying in here. Feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learn hard work and patience. That's what we have here with the sun too, this feeling of restriction. So there's been a lot of restriction. We've got Saturn. This is Capricorn energy with the devil, Saturn in the 10th house. This is Capricorn energy. You could have Capricorn highly aspect in your chart. You could have the 10th house in Capricorn. Or I'm sorry, you could have Capricorn in the 10th house. You could have Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in Pisces. You could have Taurus rising, Taurus in the 3rd house, or Leo in the 6th house is coming through. The 11th house, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So it's interesting that we've got Aquarius and the 11th house coming in. You could have Aquarius placements highly aspect in your chart as well. But we have this energy where it's almost like I have to fill up every moment of my free time. I'm not allowed space. So you're like a busybody all the time, on the go, constantly. Rush, 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 rush. Like, that's exhausting in and of itself. We have Ostrich coming out. Magic remains even while you ground yourself and be practical. So coming back to that space of groundedness, you know, and spending time in nature is going to help with that. But isn't it funny? Because isn't ostrich like the fastest land bird that there is? Like, they don't fly, but they run, right? They're always rushing and they rush really fast. And so that's that feeling. It's like when you get on it on the go, you never stop. And of course, that's good for when you're in Zen and like in a creative state. That's that mindfulness and mindlessness in a way where it's like your mind isn't going. But I feel like the reason you rush is because your mind is constantly going. And so you never reach that true state of Zen where you're in a moment of peace. Roman tufted goose, take heed of those who give warnings. Yeah, so I do feel like this is a warning from source that's just saying like, you're eventually going to get to the point where your body can't handle this type of exhaustion anymore. You really need to find a way to settle yourself from all this chaos that's going on around you and all this chaos that even you might be putting on your shoulders and yourself, right? Whether that's, you know, taking a retreat or maybe going on vacation or going to a spa day or figuring out what's the best type of meditation for you. I feel like for you, pile number 2, you would really benefit from trying to practice yoga nidra. Mind-body connection would really be beneficial to you, okay? That's if you feel called to try it. Yeah, we have distorted perceptions coming out. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. Okay, so again, going back to how you were raised, it's like your reality is based on what you were raised in and what they, you know, made you believe as a child. Like you had to fulfill all these roles, and that's not actually true. I feel like you need to slow down, right? Like slowing down will help you find purpose again. We have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Yeah, you can definitely get through this. But the trauma has been, it's just that need to always fill space is what it is. It's always filling space. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So there might have been a lot of judgment from when you did take time off. You know, like if you got sick as a child, it was a problem. Or if you took time off from school, it was a problem. Saturn coming out again. So again, pointing out time for tough love. Like this has been tough love. This has been a tough situation. When we say like tough love, I feel like in this case, it's like you grew up in a very restrictive home. That's what it feels like. And so it's allowing yourself the freedom from those restrictions. And maybe you felt like you were, pile 2. Maybe you felt like, oh, I was giving myself freedom from those restrictions. I don't have those expectations on myself. But if you were to really just stop and maybe just look at your day planner, like, are there any days when there's nothing planned? You know, or is there any days in the upcoming week where there's nothing going on? I feel like maybe you've just changed where you're putting that energy at. And that's what they're saying here. It's like, this is something that was really difficult, and finding that space is where you're going to find healing. We have Aquarius energy again. Yeah, so really Capricorn, Aquarius, you could have like Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus along with Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Fly your freak flag. It's time to do something outside of the ordinary. Okay, it's time for you to step outside of what you've known. You know, giving yourself time and space, giving yourself the freedom to be yourself, to put down all the masks, to put down all of these hats that you wear constantly. Isolation. Yeah. Because this is creating a situation where you do feel alone, where you feel like no one can connect with you, where you feel like you are the only one that can carry this burden. And that's a very unfair place to be at. If you can't, what is that? I can't remember if that's a Pitbull song, but he says, if you don't know who to trust, that's a very lonely road indeed. Like, I think Pitbull says that in one of his songs. But anyways, it's like, if you don't know who to trust, like, you know, you can't ever ask for help. And if you can't ever ask for help, what a burdensome journey. And right now, if I were to ask you, pile 2, who's one person you could go to ask for help right now? Like, if something happened, I feel like many of you would be like, I don't really have anybody because I'm that person. I'm the one that everybody comes to for help. What's an angel number? Yeah. We have 3333. Divine timing, realistic and practical approach to goals, divine timing, ambition, and cooperation. You have the benefit of good fortune, and if you use your wise judgment, you can do anything. In this place, you can reach new heights. You should act on your potential when you see this pattern, since what you plant will grow. You're about to experience a spectacular ascent. So you are moving up. And I do feel like once you come into that space of silence, and once you come into that space of stillness, you're going to see things from a whole new perspective that you didn't even know existed. 2112, new beginning. Hope, new beginning, fresh start, lifestyle purpose, and a spiritual awakening. This is a call to action to move forward. The sooner you get going, the sooner you will accomplish what you set out to do. Those with patience will eventually reap the rewards of their perseverance. Wow. And Saturn is all about hard work, patience, and taking that time. And the thing is here is I feel like with 2112, it's not talking necessarily about action in the sense of physically moving as much as it's action in allowing and seeing what happens as you allow. All right, let's get one more message here for pile number 2. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck. Okay, we have Isaiah. It is a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I'm watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these challenges or changes. Right? So it's time for you to start something new. And I feel like this is a new approach for you, is coming into that stillness. But it will be super beneficial for you because there's just this energy. It's almost like chaos all around you all the time. Wishful expectations. Acknowledge that smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are, right? Being busy doesn't necessarily mean that you're being productive. And sometimes I feel like that's something really hard for people who are workaholics to embrace, because it's like, no, being busy means that I'm getting things done, but really it doesn't. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, and that's the key here. Yeah, your energy. This is about coming back to your energy, fixing your energy. Really, pile two, it's like your energy is very chaotic, it's very all over the place, and it comes from that having those high expectations from childhood, right? It's like if your parents always expected you to have the best grades, or to be the valedictorian, or to always be at the top of the class, to be class president or on the student council, if you were always expected to take care of everybody at home, or if you were always expected to do whatever it was, right? Be the best at sports, or to even be involved in sports. It's like these expectations became the illusions that then have turned into your reality, saying I'm not enough without these situations in my life. But that's not true. You were always enough just as you were. Just because someone else places an expectation on you, that doesn't make you less of someone who's like less deserving of love, less deserving or worthy of kindness and compassion. What it is those expectations are actually the projection of how that person feels internally. And it's saying that I don't feel good enough, so I'm trying to force someone else in my life to become what I felt like I couldn't. And so it ends up becoming living vicariously through another person. And that's an unfair situation, but it happens quite frequently. So we're going to take a look at your angel card here. We have Oceana. Take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself, right? And so we have that with the action is not about physically doing as much as it is about being here. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your Kuan Yin card. I'm going to read this from the book and see what she has to say. We have the number 1 card with the bamboo moon. All right, let me grab the book. Number 1. All right. It says, did you know that there are no mistakes in the universe, and all events, circumstances, relationships, and situations are unfolding in perfection with the timing and intelligence of the divine plan? And we had divine timing come out as well. Any apparent delay is in your favor. If something is happening for you right now, then that is perfect too. Divine timing is perfection. It is safe to trust this now. You might be wondering if anything is ever going to come together for you, or if it seems to be happening quickly now, if you were even ready for it. The answer is yes, a resounding yes. Divine timing is always at play. Whether we are letting go or trying to force something, an intelligent power that is vaster than our comparatively limited vision is always in flow, and we are a part of that. We can find so much peace and joy when we realize this and learn to trust and relax in the unfolding of our divine destiny. Chinese bamboo helps us learn this wisdom of divine timing. For about 5 years of its early life, not much appears to be going on, as those small roots attempt to ground themselves. Yet, when they are ready, those roots are exceptionally strong, and the plant suddenly grows like wildfire. There was much more going on in preparation for the powerful growth than what appeared to be at the humbling beginnings of the bamboo plant. So it can be so with divine timing. There are periods when not much appears to be going on at all, and we can begin to expect that this will always be the case. Yet this inner preparation time allows for swift development and growth when we are ready. When the time for patience and thorough preparation is over, our growth can happen very quickly, and we might then be concerned that it is all too fast and we cannot keep up with it. But of course, we shall keep up with it, because the inner preparation has allowed us to develop a good foundation of spiritual strength. Just like the cycles of the moon that shift from hidden light to full splendor of solar reflection, only to shift again, your unfoldment is just a matter of timing. You're being encouraged to trust in divine timing and know that all is well in your world. Rejoice. Your dreams and divine destiny are manifesting right now, whether it is obvious or not, and all will continue to unfold according to your highest good. Be at peace, beloved. You are not forgotten, nor your gifts being underestimated. All is well in the divine plan unfolding of which you are a part of. So it's easy to hold resentment towards those from our past, but it's just saying like it taught you something valuable. Here's the thing, pile number 2, you are someone who has incredible work ethics. It's something that's rare. Unfortunately, it is rare in this day, and maybe fortunately, right? Because it just goes to show that you're a part of that rarity. But also that comes with a price if all you're doing is constantly working. So coming back to that place of understanding that I was taught how to work hard, I was taught how to show up with consistency, and what I'm learning now is receptivity, right? It's being stuck in the masculine, and how do I step into an empowered state of divine feminine energy, which is receiving of the blessings. And that's what the moon is here to show you, the bamboo moon. There's strength in the stillness. The 5 years when the bamboo shoot is not growing, there's strength in the stillness. That's where it gets the strongest. And then it grows like wildfire. So that's why it's maybe sometimes coming into that state of what appears to be doing nothing is actually when you're doing the most. And can you remind yourself of that and truly take space and time for you to come into that state of meditation, of mind-body connection, of mindfulness. Okay, so this is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little crescent moon emoji down below and say, today I choose to tap in, and take a moment to truly tune in and connect with my body and the wisdom that it provides for me, knowing that I am creating a life I was destined to live by receiving. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message today. Remember, you are not alone, pile number 2. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this piece of carnelian, or perhaps you're drawn to this dice with the 9th house on it, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what trauma are you being asked to face. I would like to say thank you to everyone showing up. We're all here sharing this human experience together. And we do things differently here on this channel. So that being said, if the message does happen to resonate with you, it'd mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Now, with the nature of this reading, there is the potential for triggering energy to come through. And there's no obligation to force it to fit. But also keeping in mind that triggers are a blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So I'm truly honored to be able to do this for you today. And let's go ahead and hop to it, pile 3, and find out, what trauma are you being asked to face? The source for pile number 3, what messages do you have for them today? What trauma are you being asked to face? Pile number 3. Okay, so we've got the 6th house, Mercury energy, and Aquarius. Your day-to-day routines. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest with yourself right now when it comes to your health, when it comes to your well-being, when it comes to the things that you do, the things that are taking up your time, even work? This could be the type of work that you do, or the coworkers that you have. Like, there could be some sort of discrepancies with this situation. And the question here is, are you being completely honest with yourself? Are you saying how you feel? Are you getting out how you view the situation? Or are you feeling like you have to bottle it up and just be friendly to everyone? Just go along with the flow. You know, Aquarians, they're great. They're so great at being so detached from every situation. They just don't really care. But also that can be a downfall, because there's times when you do need to care, right? Instead of just letting people be the way that they are and stuff like that, we need to ask ourselves, is this really in alignment with myself and with what I want and with who I'm trying to be? And I feel like with this combination of dice, that's what it's asking. So this has to do with your daily routines, your rituals, your coworkers, and your overall health. Is everything that you're doing right now the best, most aligned path for you to come into your most aligned version of self? Or have you become so unattached to the outcome, like you just don't really care, you're going with the flow, and I don't, you know, whatever happens, happens. It's okay to take that type of energy into the journey, but sometimes it's just too free-flowing, and there needs to be some sense of structure here. With Mercury coming in, we're asking you to come back to a more structured plan. Come back to a more structured idea of how you would like to show up, and then executing that by being honest with yourself and building a plan around that. It's a very, very clear message here with the dice. I feel like the thing is that you've had to learn how to be unattached because of being so attached at some point in your life. And, you know, we oftentimes don't talk about the opposite extremes that we'll experience on the journey. So you're super, super attached to the outcome, and you heal and you heal and you heal and you heal and you keep going, and you keep getting to this point where you get all the way over here where now you're completely unbothered by everything and unattached and just kind of like flowing with life, but not really flowing with life, just kind of letting life happen to you. And it's not about being one extreme or the other. It's about finding the center ground. And when you get into that centered state, the balance between being attached and unattached is what helps you to manifest your reality. And it helps you to stay empowered on your journey as well. It's about coming back to feeling the situation so that you can let go of maybe patterns that could be underlying here and running the show. But let's see if we can get into this a little bit more. So what trauma are you being asked to face? I feel like there's a sense of freedom in coming into that not caring. And that sense of freedom has been so enticing and almost addicting in a way that why would I ever want to go back to actually caring? And it's not about caring about what others think of you or anything like that. It's more about caring about the journey and what it is that you're doing with it, right? It's refocusing on something that does matter rather than becoming unfocused from everything. What trauma are you being asked to face? Okay, thank you. What trauma are you being asked to face? What trauma are you being asked to face? Pile number 3. Bringing that good fortune, feeling the emotions again. Sacral chakra energy is coming through. There's been anxiety tied to feeling. Just easier to not care. Which, look, I get it. I get it, pile 3. It is a lot easier to just not care. But when we're put in that place where we don't care and we don't want to care about anything, we're numbing ourselves. What trauma are you being asked to face right now? Okay, so you're getting 2 cards here. You're the only pile that got 4 cards, but I'll take it. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands in the upright. So this feels like finding a new inspired path forward. This is all fire energy. We have Sag, Leo, Aries, Leo, Sag. So where are you putting action at? Again, it's like taking action, reassessing the situation, and then taking action based on that reassessment, right? Your good fortune has actually it's going to be coming because of all the situations that you've been through, because of carrying too many burdens, because of having too much responsibilities, because of that fear of letting go, because of the broken heart. You have endured all these hardships, but it's almost like all of these hardships has turned into, I can't feel anymore. This feeling makes me go crazy. It makes me overwhelmed. It puts me in a bad situation that I don't like. But it's actually the emotions with the Wheel of Fortune here, also connected to Pisces, Jupiter, and Sagittarius, showing that depth of emotion through the sacral chakra can bring that good fortune and that understanding of balance between the two, which is what I was feeling earlier. There's been a lot of hardships, and this is going to feel brand new. This is going to feel like a brand new journey for you. Okay, this is going to feel like I've never done this before. I've never found harmony between disassociation and attachment. I've never been able to come into that place of in between. But it's that in between that gives you the strength to carry on. For you, I know you got 4 cards, but I just want to get a little bit deeper into this. Can you give us a little bit more information on this source? The Chariot coming out in the horizontal here. So we have, again, finding that balance. There's spiritual defeat here. It's almost like, what's the point? Why should I even bother? Nothing is really happening the way that I thought it was going to. And so I'm just kind of almost like giving up in a way, resigning. While at the same time making the choice to charge forward and take the life that you want. There's like this weird balance that you're in right now. There's a weird place that you're in where sometimes you're just giving up, sometimes you're taking action, but there's no real plan for yourself. Let's get one more. Yeah, Sagittarius energy. So you could have Sagittarius highly aspect in your chart, Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius in the 7th house, the 8th house, the 10th house. We have Sagittarius in the 5th house as well. Balance. This is about integrating the light and the dark with the Temperance energy. So there's the shadow, which is what we don't want to feel. The shadow is what we tend to reject. And also integrating that with the light. The only thing we wish we could experience is the light. However, if one were to cease, the other would also cease and fade. There's been a lot of tears that have been cried here. The Ace of Cups, coming back to this connection between you and the divine. That's where you'll find grounded energy at. I feel like for you, pile number 3, it's almost like, what's the deal? Like, I've healed so much. What's the purpose of continued healing? I've overcome so much. What's the purpose of continuing? Like, why am I doing this? I haven't seen things balance out the way that I want. I've continued on these routines, but they've lost their appeal. They've lost their drive. Like, I keep showing up, but it's just boring now. That's what it feels like. It feels like everything you're doing is boring. And I feel like there's because you have moved so far over into the other side of the scale of extremes. You cared so much for so long. And it's not that you're not a caring and compassionate person still. In fact, I think that you truly are. But I feel like your caring has brought you into this place where it's like, I loved so hard and so deep for so long that I got so betrayed and hurt and brokenhearted and people walked all over me that I just can't anymore. I can't give people that love. I can't be present with people in that way anymore. And maybe you still have relationships in your life that are still draining and you just have resigned to the fact that I'm always going to deal with people like this. So what's the purpose? It's almost like you've lost sight of why you've chosen to do this journey. And Source is showing you like all these hardships have brought to you such wisdom. You've gained knowledge, you've gained wisdom and information and clarity on so many things. Why stop now? But also at the same time, then it becomes, do you need time away? Do you need time away to reconnect? Do you need time away just to sit instead of pushing forward on the healing journey? You know, we don't have to heal 100% of the time. We don't have to spend all our day, every night healing. That's an extreme too, right? We're trying to find balance. Maybe you just need to take a week off and go every day and take a walk at your favorite park instead of focusing on healing, and know that that's okay. Right? Maybe you just need to go take a vacation and put down all the electronics. Maybe you just need to get away from helping people for a little while and help yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like the thing is here is that there's just a sense of, I've been so responsible for people's emotions. That's what I keep getting, is emotions. For people's emotions for so long. How do I know what's rightfully mine to feel and what's not? Especially when I'm around other people. Like, how do I not realize that this isn't mine or this is theirs or so on and so forth? You know, there is this thing that you can do. You can light a candle. It's the flame meditation. And you can look it up online too. But what you do is you light a candle and you stare at the flame. And you imagine yourself becoming one with the flame. But then you also imagine yourself being completely separate from the flame. And then you find out, where do you end and where does the flame begin? And doing this consistently with practice will help you to really begin to set boundaries against yourself and what other people are feeling and what other people are going through. It's not yours to feel theirs, but I do feel like that's something that's going on. And being honest with yourself, like, okay, am I doing things because I want to do them, or am I doing things because I'm carrying all these burdens of everybody else or what I went through in the past and still carry that same energy? There's been a lot of tricksters in your life that you've overcome. You've persevered. You're becoming stronger. Wow, I can't make this up. Yeah, you're becoming so much stronger. A lot of fire energy here. Leo, Sag, Leo, of Aquarius, Aries. What do you want to do? What do you want to put your energy to? And I feel like it's interesting because I feel very confused for your reading, Pile 3. Like, I just feel very confused and almost lost. But I realize that that's not because the reading itself is lost. I realize that that's where you're at energetically. And that's the thing. It's like that essence is so heavy. It's like, I don't even know why I bother healing anymore. I feel like maybe in the beginning you were getting visible signs of your healing. Like maybe you went through a physical, emotional shed where you were crying, or you released some sort of emotional burden and then you felt enlightened the next day. But now it's like you've been on the journey for so long that maybe those are such little blips that you're not even feeling them anymore. And it's like, okay, so maybe I've reached my limit for healing, just like I reached my limit for everything else. There's like a Debbie Downer kind of energy here. And what Source is trying to remind you is that we're trying to integrate the shadow. And honoring that too, honoring that you have that energy about you, the Debbie Downer. And we're not really seeing too much from the past other than the fact that you have a lot of anxiety from holding responsibilities in relationships. Here's the thing, Pile 3. It is not your responsibility to make sure that both sides of the relationship work. All you can do is show up as you're going to show up, and then let that other person show up as they're going to show up, and let things fall as they may. That's it. That's all you can do. You can't do more than that. But the minute that you put it on your shoulders, like, I have to do more than this. I have to show up in this way so that this person shows up in this way. I have to do this so that this person does that. You're trying to control this other person. And trust me, that is something that is so easy to fall into, and I understand that. But I feel like that's what's got you lost, is because you're trying to figure out what you can change about yourself right now to elicit a change in this other person or these other people in your life, where there is no change. Sometimes we just have to accept that a person that you know is never going to change. It doesn't mean that they're not capable of change, but sometimes you just have to accept that this person that I care about so much, they're just never going to change. And then the question becomes, is this somebody that is worth me having in my life? Like, is it worth me sticking around for? Is it worth me putting myself through all this? Are they keeping me from my dream? Are we, incompatible with our values and our morals? And that's why I feel like it's just this reminder that what it is that you're feeling right now, that heaviness, it's just taking time to really reflect on where you're at right now and stepping away from giving so much to everybody. You reach out a hand and everybody reaches back and expects you to pull them up, but there's only so many people that you can lift up on their feet. If 100 hands grab you, the chances of you being able to pick them up are pretty slim, right? They're going to drag you down with them. So this is either a person that you're in a relationship with or someone that is very close to you right now. Someone that's around you constantly. Could be a coworker. It doesn't have to be, but I feel like a lot of your routines have begun to shape around this person and their heavy energy and their very dark energy. They're very negative. And that's what's exacerbating this anxiety, and that's what's creating this dissonance in your soul, this spiritual defeat, this exhaustion. It's okay for you to take time away and really recenter yourself and say, okay, is this really something that I can sustain for the long run? And if so, what do I need to do to pour back into myself? Especially with the Temperance card coming out here. This is a huge challenge. This is a trauma, though. This comes from the past, is always putting everybody else first. And that doesn't surprise me because that's come out quite a bit in all three piles. And just really quickly, if you've watched all three piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for my Purple Heart Club. It's for those of you that choose to stick the whole reading out with me, and I truly appreciate it. And if you're here for pile 3 and pile 3 alone, I want you to know that I appreciate you for that as well. It really does mean the world. Yeah, we've got house 2 flying out. Your self-worth, physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. So there's something here that you have tied on to an external situation. You've tied on to this external situation. Maybe it is your physical security. Maybe it's your self-worth. It's your value. You're tying an identity to this external situation, saying, if this doesn't work out this way, then obviously there's something wrong with me. And that's the illusion that we see here. The trauma that's being brought up is feeling like you're responsible for everyone else, including yourself. We have yang energy, proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. It's time to move on. That's what I'm hearing with the yang energy here. It's time to move on. Stop taking responsibility for something that's not yours to carry. You have to let these people show up however they're going to show up, but don't let that deter you from what you do for yourself. We have the short-eared owl, the wisdom, inner peace, and a sense of wonder are regained by immersing yourself in nature. What did I just say? Maybe you need to take a week away from everybody and go walk in your favorite park, spending time in nature. That's where you're going to gain clarity, where you're going to gain wisdom. Getting away from these energies is going to be beneficial to you, pile number 3. That's going to help you understand about yourself. I can't with this. We have the weeping wound. You are not your wounds. That's what I was saying. Like, you've identified with the hurt and the pain here. So if somebody has betrayed you and you're still around this person, you've identified with that betrayal. Like, obviously, I'm the one that was at cause here because they wouldn't have betrayed me if it wasn't me. That's not true. This person would, regardless if it was you or if it wasn't you, pile 3, this person would have shown up that same way. Doesn't matter. This is just who they are. But sometimes we take it so personally, like it's obviously my fault because I'm the common denominator here. And sometimes it is us, but most of the time it's just our values and our beliefs in the world don't align with someone else's. And because of that, it creates pain and suffering because we're attached to everybody showing up the same way that we would show up. And if they don't and we get hurt, we take that burden on ourselves. And that's what it's saying here. Like, you're holding on to something that's not yours to hold on to. We have, emptied here. Sacral chakra. Yeah, sacral chakra healing. And that's the other thing, pile 3. You're allowed to feel how you feel. So if you feel like you're a burden, if you feel all these things, it's okay. You're allowed to feel that. But also remembering that it's important for you to observe those feelings with curiosity and unattachment. Like, where does that lead you? If I feel like the burden, where does that lead me? Feeling like the burden. Like, what is that leading me down? What is that bringing into my life? And is that really the truth? Asking yourself these questions. Is that really the truth? Are you really the burden? I don't know why burden's coming out, but it was so strong as it came in. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like you're not, but you've taken that on like I'm the burden. While also, how can you be both the burden and the pillar of support? What a conundrum. It says the ending and the beginning lie at either side of the same door. What's it going to take for you to open it up and walk through? What's waiting for you on the other side? And not with these people. What if you went through by yourself? What's waiting for you? I feel like you're afraid to let yourself be who you are because of the energies that you've had to deal with. Because it feels like no one's accepted the changed you. Like, when you've had to alter yourself to try to fit in, no one accepted that. So what makes anybody think that they would accept the most authentic version of you? But these individuals, they would have been the same whether you were changed or authentic. This is just how they would have shown up. And it's hard for you to step back and see it that way because you're seeing it as you were the one. Like, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have treated so-and-so like this. They wouldn't have treated this person like that. They wouldn't have treated this person like that. But the truth is that they would have treated all those people the same. Especially if you were in the same role. Doubt. Yeah, exactly. There's a doubt here. I doubt that. It's me. It's not you. It's not you, pile 3. I release the need to know all the answers. Sometimes, when we know the true nature of a person, that helps us make educated decisions for ourselves. But if we're saying that the true nature of a person is ours to carry, we can't ever make a decision for ourselves because we're saying that I'm the only person that can change a situation that's immovable. We have Pisces energy here. Tune into your intuition. Yeah, right now is the time for you to trust your intuition. Okay? And to go deep into those feelings. 8th house, accept that it's complicated. Instead of trying to find a reason or an explanation, just accept that it's a really complicated situation. We're all multifaceted beings, and when we bring us together, there's naturally going to be discord because that's just life. Or rather than trying to put reason or purpose to it, just accept that it's complicated. There is no reason or rhyme for the way they showed up the way they did. That's just who they are right now. That's all their experiences brought into this one moment. And to know all of that means that you would have had to have walked in their shoes. Doesn't mean that you're incapable of doing that, but the chances of this person opening up and being honest about what they've experienced in their life is slim to none. So you're never going to get that opportunity, pile 3. Sweetness. Come back to your sweet self. I feel like this has made you very cynical and rigid. And it's also made you it's made you doubt the magic that is life. Reflection, 909. Change of perspective, reflection, inner strength, wisdom, and enlightenment. There's a need for a change of perspective on whatever has taken over you now. If you want to succeed, you need to keep going down the road you're on. Reach for the wisdom within, and then you'll know just what the right next step is. Like, that's the thing. Keep reaching within. 909, bringing this to a close. Closing out the cycle. 555, success. Balance, finances, success, wealth, cycles. What goes around comes around. A lot of money is coming your way. Fortune refers to more than just monetary and material success. If you don't appreciate the people in your life now, you won't have them tomorrow. And the same is true for you. If they don't appreciate you today, they're not going to have you tomorrow. The message encourages you to take personal responsibility and use it to realize your greatest potential for yourself, not for everyone else. You can't take personal responsibility for everyone else. They have to take accountability for themselves. But I feel like you've taken it on yourself for so long in your life, and it's just, well, it's habitual. It's almost like you can't help yourself. So when you get hurt, or when there's something where it feels like a betrayal here, instead of asking, what did I do wrong? Ask for the truth of the situation to be shown to you. Don't burden yourself with you being the problem. We have Fiona. Now that you've asked the angels for help, ask to be shown. I didn't even know this was a card that came out. That's amazing. To be for help. Be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. So again, asking for help. They can't give you help if you don't ask for it, but ask to be shown the truth of the situation in front of you. We have Athena on the bottom. It is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself, and tapping into your inner power. All right, we've got Peacock. Revisit the alluring spell of those who would deceive in business or love. Whoa. So they have you under a spell. There's people here who have you under a spell. They want you to burden the blame. They want you to burden the fault. Because if you do, then that gives them the freedom from owning and taking accountability for their actions. They don't want that responsibility, but sometimes we just have to hand that back. You got to be responsible for you, because I got to be responsible for me, and that's all I have energy for. Humor. So coming out of doubt into a place of humor, sometimes the best thing that we can do for ourselves is laugh at the situation. And that sounds odd in some cases, especially when the situation hurts so much. But it's like so chaotic. Have you ever just stopped and thought about all the circumstances that led up to this one monumental, painful moment? It's absolutely chaos. It's like things that you could have never, ever imagined or created on your own. And when you really stop and think about it, it really is humorous. It's funny. It's not that the hurt and the pain was funny, but it's just like, oh my gosh, these series of unfortunate events that transpired are absolutely ridiculous. Like, I couldn't make this up even if I tried. And sometimes you just have to laugh about it. That's why comedians, really good comedians, they talk about their trauma, they talk about their life. Here's one for you if you check out, and I just want to apologize in advance because he does curse a lot, but he's totally worth it. Check out Ali Sadiq. Okay, like, absolutely, I love him. He's a phenomenal comedian. The dude just talks about his time in prison, and I mean, it's just the stories he talks about. When he's talking about it, he's so serious when he's delivering his stories. And you know he's a good storyteller, but it's like he's so shocked the whole time that he's telling his story that people are actually laughing. He's like, you could see it in his face. He's just so shocked. But you know, at the same time, he's like, this really happened. Like, this is what I really went through. This is stuff that I went into. And you realize it's just so chaotic. And it's like, people are always going to be people. And I can't remember the name of the guard. Starts with an M. It's not Martin. It's not Melvin. It's Mitchell. If you can find the skit about Mitchell, because there's this one thing he used to say, "This ain't gonna be good, Mitchell. This ain't gonna be good." And that's what it's like. Like, sometimes you just have to realize, like, people, like, you can set your boundaries, but sometimes, and this is a great story about that too, if you feel called to listen to it, it's Ali Sadiq, ALISSADIQU, or QQIC, I think. Something along those lines. But type in Mitchell with Ali Sadiq and it'll come up. And he set some boundaries with Mitchell, and Mitchell just totally made a mockery of his boundaries because he could, because he was a guard and Ali was a prisoner, and he made a total mockery of his boundaries. But in the end, what Mitchell didn't realize was the type of person that he was dealing with. And he just, you know, things worked out and it was fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, if Mitchell only ever knew what was actually going on through Ali's mind after he stepped on his boundaries and made a complete fool out of him, and what it means to stand up in those boundaries, and what it means to have people in your life who also keep you from getting into deep trouble as well. And I think it's just reminding us that sometimes we have to really let go of the people we thought we would have our loyalty for forever, and recognize that time does not equal loyalty at all. You can know a person your entire life and they can be the least loyal person in your life, no matter how loyal you are. But then you can meet someone tomorrow and suddenly the two of you are inseparable and you'll have loyalty like you've never experienced before. And so that's what it is. It's like there's someone here who has you under a spell and is trying to make a mockery of you. And sometimes you just have to laugh at it and brush it off and let it roll off your shoulders so you can keep moving. Find your happiness. What brings happiness? And again, orange, this is sacral chakra healing. Okay, so this could be a past lover. This could be a romantic relationship that hurt really, really bad. But it is connected to your sacral chakra, and it's been weighing in your sacral chakra for a while, which also explains the confusion that I felt for so long in your reading, because our sacral chakra is actually how we tap into our third eye, our ajna. They work in tandem with one another, and if one is blocked, the other one doesn't get or receive clear information. So like if our third eye is blocked, our sacral chakra is not receiving clear let me try that again. If our third eye is blocked, it's not receiving clear messages from our sacral chakra about the feelings that we're getting based on situations. If our sacral chakra is blocked, then we're not receiving clear intuitive emotions that give us the feelings we need to take action, which move into our solar plexus chakra. So it's reminding that those two work in tandem, and if one is blocked, the other one is not receiving correct or the full picture. Okay, so let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Here, the yellow tiger mother. Wow, look at this powerful card. This is about embracing your power, and the tiger is all about our power of will and recognizing our true strength. I feel like you've been playing yourself so small for so long that you've forgotten just how truly powerful you are, and it's about reminding yourself of that, and it comes from all those difficult situations. Like, not just anybody could have survived all the things that you've gone through, pile 3. It says sometimes we must be strong and hold true whilst all around us seems to be shifting and changing. The yellow tiger mother Kuan Yin in her guardian role is roaring her divine sound within you. She asks you to hear her, to remember that you are a powerful being of light, and even whilst you are in flow with universal forces, your strong roots help you be at peace with your truth, standing your ground whilst your light shines true. In our surrender to divine forces, there are times when we must be flexible and flow, and there are times when the surrender is to hold strong and be true to our inner knowing. There are inner truths that we know are worthy of the effort to grow strong enough to honor them in our lives. These are the truths of kindness, compassion, and the right of each individual being to be spiritually free, loved, and more. The yellow tiger mother sounds roaring notes within you. One second. Okay. She is a fierce, protective tigress, and yellow is her golden strength and wisdom. She urges you to listen for her sound within and trust yourself. You know when you need to stand your ground and not be swayed. You are more powerful, strong, and courageous than you may realize. Your strength is not stubbornness or resistance. It is holding firm to what you feel in your heart to be true, and in time, you will come to realize the wisdom of your courage. Your strength at this time is needed, like a protective shield, providing nurturing to a young plant. Your strength and refusal to be dissuaded from your truths help your dreams and higher path continue to manifest. Allow yourself to hear the yellow tiger mother as she gifts you with power and strength and knowing. Be brave and stay true to yourself, beloved. Yeah. And that's what I feel like. It's just reminding yourself that you are powerful, and that even though you've been through some very treacherous times in your life, that you are not those treacheries. You are so much more than all the experiences that have happened to you, Pile 3, and you're an amazing soul here, gifted with an amazing purpose to share your love and light in the expression of you. You don't have to change yourself to be loved. You never deserved to go through what you went through. But we cannot change the past, and we can't change what it is that you've experienced. However, in this moment, you're given a real opportunity to choose how you show up moving forward. And is that choice going to be based on tuning into your own inner knowing and your wisdom and strength? Or is it going to be continuing to relive that betrayal in the past and identify with that wound? You're the only one that can make that decision, no matter what anybody says. So this is what I see here for you today, Pile 3. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little tiger emoji down below and say, today I stand up and I roar. For all the pain I've been through, I roar. For all the pain I let go of, I roar. And I stand empowered to be myself. And if it resonated, it would mean so much today if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Here's a big energetic hug for you, Pile number 3. I want you to remember you were so amazing and so beautiful and wonderful and kind. And we need you just as you are. Okay? I would like to take this time to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this profound message. And until next time, Pile number 3, stay human. Bye.